My name is Dilip Singh. Some of you know me, some of you like me, most of you really like me. Uh, I'm going to be talking about Dynamics portals. We are going to be talking about what's new, what's in roadmap. We'll do some demos. We'll talk about some of our customers, how they are doing, what they're trying to do with portals. Overall, it's going to be fun. We will try to end up in time, I've already asked my brother over there to keep like 10 minutes, so he's going to glow a light so we can take FAQs at that point of time. It always overshoots, so that's going to happen. So just brace for that. So this is what we are going to be discussing today. We'll talk about what's our strategy, where Portal is heading towards, what are the most important things for us, where we'll be investing in next 6 months to 1 year time frame. We are going to talk about state of business. Like some of you already use Portal, but one question always comes into mind that, hey, this looks like a new product. Are people even using it? Like, am I the only one who just get into this mess and I am going to be left behind? So we're going to talk about state of business, how we are doing. We will be talking mainly about what's coming in fall release. What are features we are working on, what all features have started rolling out, some we are doing previews right now. So we're going to be talking in details about it. We'll do demos for some of those features as well. And then we'll do a small customer showcase. We'll talk about one of our prominent customer, again, internal Microsoft. We'll talk about what they are doing with portals. So to get started, strategy. Like this is a very, very important thing. Like this is what we'll be executing upon. There are 4 most important pillars for portal strategy. First and foremost, right there, big in center is reliability. We have to make sure, it's an external facing website, right? It has to run 100% of the time. There should not be any downtime. Azure South Central goes down, your portal should not go down because of that. Unless Azure AD goes down, then that's okay. But yeah, that's our core focus, to make sure that your portal always runs reliably every single point of time. So whatever it takes to do that, that's where we are investing our major money on. Ease of use. That's another big hurdle for people to adopt portals today. If you know someone who is really smart, they understand Liquid, they have worked with ADX Studio in past, then for them it's very easy to configure it. But for people who don't have experience in that, our aim is to make it simpler for them to configure. Or not everything, but at least some simple task like layouting, designing web pages, that should be easy for you to do. And that's where we're going to be spending a lot of money on as well. Extensibility. That's one of the major themes for us. Portal out of box gives you a lot of capabilities, but obviously it's an external facing website, you want to extend it as much as possible. So we will be investing a lot on how to make those extensions possible. How do you get data from a different system easily? How do you create your own HTML page, just create a record in CRM? Those kind of things we will be trying to do in order to close down any kind of gaps which you can perceive today. Intelligence, that's a big theme for whole of Microsoft. We're trying to make our products smarter than product managers. So everywhere there's going to be talk about AI stuff. We'll be talking about how we'll integrate with bots. The new AI for customer service thing, how many of you guys saw that in Keynote? Or Satya's LinkedIn video? That's actually pretty awesome. So we're going to be talking about how do we get that onto portals easily. We'll be talking about how to use cognitive search APIs. A lot of Azure cognitive APIs are pretty cool. So we are going to be trying to get them into portals natively, so you don't really have to figure out a way to embed them. Although extensibility will make it possible, but we want to make sure we embed them automatically for you. So that's the product strategy. Those are the 4 main pillars we are going to be doing work, we are going to be spending time on for next 6 months to 1 year. And reliability is forever, so on that one, till the time portal exists. So it is important to understand that those 4 pillars is going to be our core strategy. And that's where we'll be executing upon. Now let's talk about state of business, how we are doing in market, right? How many people are using portal? Are actually people using portal? So let's talk about that. All right. Active portals. So we have 9,700 active portals as of last Friday, 3 p.m. That's when I created the slides. So it's a 66% year-over-year growth. Like all the numbers are last rolling 28 days, and year-over-year when I say it's actually Ignite over Ignite, because I presented this slide in last Ignite, so I thought I'll just do the number comparison from there. We have 1.86 million active users hitting those portals. Across all geographies, that's what we get every 28 days. A lot of that volume is authenticated, like almost like half of that volume is authenticated, and then a lot of them are anonymous as well. And that's excluding bots. Like we try to remove bots as much as possible, like Google keep on creating new ones, but we try to keep on cleaning them up. But that's after the bot cleanup. We hit 98.1 million page views last week, which was a 321% growth from last year. Actually, we hit 100 million this morning, but I couldn't get time to update the slide, but we did. That's a major milestone for us. That's the number of page views we are serving right now. Monthly transactions, so this is pretty much all the CRUD operation you do on Dynamics, all searches, logins, logouts, all of that is around 25 million right now. Again, that's like a 70% growth over last year. And it's growing rapidly. Like there are times when we are not able to keep pace with it, and a lot of people have a lot of sleepless night seeing that number grow. So that was a state of business, talking about like you guys are not alone. There are other people who are there with you, who are there in this journey, and we are all going to make it so much better in future. Let's talk about what's our future. What's new? What's coming in October 2018, right? That's always an interesting question. It's already there in release notes. So some people just say, hey, you're going to present release notes today. I'm like, yeah, but I'm going to explain a bit more. I'll actually talk about individual feature, then I'll demo them. So they actually will work. First and foremost, ALM enhancements. We already did this, by the way. So one of the major gap was, how do I move data from dev to test to prod? We didn't have an out-of-box story. We always said use configuration migration tool. But if you have used configuration migration tool, one of the biggest hurdle is there's no schema file. We don't give a schema file. If you create one on your own, you can have mistakes in it. So you can miss data when you move it over, and Portal doesn't like missing data. It will throw errors left, right, and center if you have missing data, missing configurations in it. So we launched schema files for all Portal types. These are downloadable from that link. It's already out there. You can use those schema file directly in configuration migration tool, move your data from dev to test to prod. Very simple to do. It's a free tool, so you can always use it. If you have customized entity, I always say you can edit the schema file, but rather just keep it separate, create your own, move data that way. That will help if you run into a problem, Microsoft support will be able to isolate it, whether it's custom entity or out-of-box schema file. So always be wary of that. So that's something we did like a month back. Some people are already using it. If you are not aware of it, go ahead, use it. That's something we want each and everyone to use and give feedback to us on. SharePoint integration. So how many of you like that? Right, I took your business though, so you don't really like it. That's the docs you guy back there. So, SharePoint integration is something we are supporting natively now. What it allows you to do is upload files directly from Portal to SharePoint. Your Portal user doesn't have to be SharePoint user. He doesn't need any licenses or anything like that. All he gets is a file upload button. He clicks on it, file gets uploaded. He can download it, he can view it, like all standard functionality is applicable. All of this is also using Dynamics' SharePoint integration at the core. So the document location comes from whatever is the document location you set in Dynamics. So let's say you uploaded a code. If your agent is viewing the same code record in Dynamics, they will be able to see that file when they go to document location. So the story gets completed in that way. You can create new folders as well. You can restrict capability of what people can do, whether they can upload file or whether they can delete it or read it. using entity permissions. So the security model is through entity permission as well, and there's no licensing involved. Like those users doesn't have to be in AD as well. Embedding Power BI. So this is like one of my favorite features. One of the things we have always been trying to do is get better looking visuals, charts. Power BI is amazing, data filtering capabilities, get data from multiple sources in Power BI, create a nice dashboard, show it on portal. So that's something we are enabling now. It's going to be done in 2 phases. First phase, we are enabling Power BI for organization, and they are published to web dashboards. So you can publish a report or a dashboard to web in Power BI. You can embed that. That's for anonymous users. Second, for your people who are in AD, they can use Power BI for organization, and you can embed any dashboard report or tile in portal. It will come with like a liquid tag. It will take parameters like URL, or it will also take parameters whether it's anonymous or authenticated, those kind of things. So it will be engraved into, like, it is pretty much done by using existing portal concept. You don't have to learn anything new. Second phase, we are going to launch Power BI Embed as well. Power BI Embed is Power BI solution for like exposing all dashboard report styles to all the users without each of them having a license. That's something which is going to come in phase 2, where you will be able to take Power BI for embed like visualization and and just embed it on the portal. And no one will need a license. No one will need to be in Azure AD. Important thing there will be, we'll also support row-level security of Power BI Embed. So you will be able to pass in a parameter and say, hey, this is a custom parameter, which is my user's role, and on Power BI side, have those roles set up, so data gets automatically filtered. Also, you can pass custom data filters in URL. We will support that, where you can have custom data filters. So let's say you have a portal, and you want to filter data by language, or by country, or by user's geolocation. So you just take user's object through Liquid, get the appropriate parameter, construct the Liquid tag automatically, and voila, all your data will get filtered by that. And it's all server-side, so no one can go and look at JavaScript and just change the URL we are posting. So those kind of things will be available as well. Restricting portal access by IP address. Now this is again one of my favorites, because it was super simple to do. Like, it took literally like 5 days to build this functionality. And like those 5 days was that UI, because it took me 4 days to write whatever comes on that UI. But it was super simple to build. It's very interesting functionality. What it allows you to do is how to take a portal and restrict its usage from certain IP addresses. Like, if you put an IP address in there, unless you have the same public IP address when you're hitting the portal, it will not allow you to see whether a portal is there or not. It's actually going to say 403 web app is stopped. So no one can actually figure out whether a portal is running if they're outside the IP address. Very useful for restricted domains like government or restricted industry, or even for a company if you want to do like a employee portal and you want to restrict outside usage. Those kind of things can be done through this feature. It will support both IPv4 as well as IPv6 addresses. So if you are one of those who have moved to IPv6 in your corporate, then you can actually use that as well. This is one of the, when I said all those portal, our strategy pillars, this was one of the pillars, ease of use. So this is where we are trying to build a completely new CMS designer, where you have WYSIWYG capabilities to drag and drop and create pages, change layouts, add fields, add templates, a little code editor to modify HTML directly, all of those kind of things. This is coming in public preview in October, and then later on it's gonna, we are gonna keep on adding functionality in public preview every month, and at some point of time next year it's gonna go GA. It will allow you to edit basic HTML components like content snippets, put data in content snippet, take a web template, insert that in content snippet, those kind of things. It will also allow you to edit web pages, web templates, eventually web templates, And in future, this will also allow you to add site settings. So there will be a fixed list of site setting which will be displayed here, so you don't have to go search in documentation. Like finally this is probably the easiest way of documenting all site setting. We'll just put it in an option set. So you can search through them and use whichever one you want to use. And this is aimed at making business users empowered to change it themselves. If you're a developer and your boss is not able to decide whether this text box should be there, whether search should be there or not, next time just open this up and ask them to do it themselves. That's the aim. Yeah. No, not telling your boss to do it themselves. That's not super easy. But using this will be super easy. Okay. Next, again, building on the same thing, ease of use. This is, again, another tool we are trying to provide where we allow you to diagnose common problems with your portal very quickly. The way this tool is being designed is that we analyze all the support cases. We figured out, hey, so these are the common configuration mistakes people do. These are the features which are deprecated and they are still using. And this is the thing which can cause performance impact. How do we automate all of it? So what we did is we created a whole online service which analyzes all these errors, try to come up with mitigations for each, and give it to you in one click. You'll go to your admin center, click a button, and it will show you everything which is wrong with your portal. Or which is, no, actually we never say which is good with your portal, but yeah, which is wrong with your portal. And then it will give you advice. It will say, hey, this is deprecated, so you should probably move off. It will tell you how to fix it. Each issue appearing here will have a link to documentation, or if it's a quick one-click fix, it will actually show a button to just fix it. This is going to come a bit later. It's going to be not in October, but slightly after that, and probably December, January timeframe. And we are going to, again, keep on adding stuff to it. Every release, we are going to keep on adding stuff to it. At some point of time, it will also tell you why your solution installation failed. It will look at all the logs of solution installation, tell you, okay, go here, do this, and how to fix your solution installation problems. So this is, which is like one of the biggest problems we face, because people don't know the logs, and half of the time we just look them up, trying to find mitigation. So we're going to automate that part as well through this. All right, and this is a surprise. So this was not there in release note. So there's one thing which was not there in release note. So what we are trying to do here is, if you know portals today, you require a Dynamics 365 app, either sales, service, or marketing, to install a portal. Else portal solutions won't install. So what if you just want to use portal with CDS? That's the beauty of CDS, right? Like you have the whole schema, you want to create custom entities, you want to expose it to your customers using portal. This thing will enable that. So we are creating a new portal type called CDS Starter, which you will be able to install on CDS orgs, which has no Dynamics 365 apps. All the portal platform functionality will remain same. None of that will change. All those capability will just exist. Just imagine it's a trimmed down version of solutions. We kind of figured out what are the dependencies on app, move those solutions out into different solutions. Whatever is remaining is a CDS schema. It uses contacts as like normal portals. All the platform, all the runtime version remains same. So none of that changes. This is also going to be slightly later, after October. But like that's something we are working on right now with our business guys on what to name it. Can we take questions in the end? Will that work with you guys? Oh, yeah. Probably, yes, that's a good name. All right, so with that, let me show you some of these functionalities I just talked about. And let me switch my machine here. So those are all the features which are coming in October, or what we call as fall wave. Not everything in October, but some after October as well. And what I'm going to show today is 3 features out of those. We are going to talk about SharePoint. We will see the restricting portals by IP address part, and then we are going to talk about designer a bit. So let's start with SharePoint. So this is like a very simple scenario. I'm on my portal. I'm already logged in. I have like cases created. What I want to do is attach like a file to a case. So I open the case form, which is an entity form here. I see this grid. Like this thing is obviously changeable. I see this grid. I see two actions, add file or add a new folder. I can go ahead and add file. So I'm just going to choose this one and add it. And at this point of time, this file is uploaded in SharePoint directly. No involvement of Dynamics, no plugin call anywhere. It directly goes to SharePoint. All your security was provided by the fact that you as a user has access to this case, and their entity permission said that if you have access to this case, you get access to that SharePoint documents of that case. You can, once the file is uploaded, you can obviously download it. Just click on that, it's going to do that. You can delete it, or you can add more files, or even add a new folder. So I can go ahead and create a new folder. It's going to create a new folder in the document, like a child folder in that document location, and you can upload file either to that new folder or to the parent folder as well. Now, actually, I should just create a new folder. All right, there is a slight UI bug here. So this is basically the folder view. If I click here, it's going to go back to the parent one. And you can see the folder there as well as a file there. And these logos, like these icons, you can actually change by web files. I forgot to do it, and I realized just now. You can actually put a folder icon and a GPGI icon, and that will show up like that. Now, how was this all set up? It was actually pretty simple. All I had to do was go here, go to set up SharePoint integration. Oops, sorry, I clicked on refresh. Okay, while that loads, it's fine. Okay, so let's check the entity permissions first, and then we'll go to that part. So pretty much in Dynamics, what I did was enable SharePoint integration. You choose the contact and account folder mode, or you choose the normal mode, both are fine. In terms of entity permission, so I had this entity permission for case records, like show me all the cases where contact is the customer. And then I created a child permission for it. So this child permission was with SharePoint document location entity. This document location entity, like the scope is set to parent. This is my parent entity. This is the parent relationship, which is between cases and SharePoint document location. And then I control what people can do using these permissions. So if you see here, there's a delete button. If I'll go ahead and remove delete permission and write permission. So delete permission removing is going to remove the delete button, and write permission is going to remove the add buttons at the top. And we'll wait a minute for cache refresh. Okay, I'm just going to push it. All right, let me just push cache refresh. And my case is gone, but that's okay. I'm going to find a new case here. And neither there's a file here, and there's no new or upload buttons here, because I removed write permission. We just open a case which has files in it, and we can see if the delete button shows up or not. All right, so here you go. This has files in it, and it doesn't have any delete permissions. So as an admin, you will be able to control which user gets what permission. Like maybe not everyone gets permission to delete files, but everyone gets permission to upload files. You will be able to control with entity permissions. Now coming back to setup part, it's going to be pretty simple. It's going to be just like one click. Click on this button, it's going to enable SharePoint integration. It has to be done by a global administrator of your company because this will require application permission at the backend. So global administrator has to consent on behalf of everyone. Make sure you do it with a global administrator, although it's going to check as well. But if you didn't do the consent part, it can break your Azure AD auth, the one which we set up by default. So make sure you always finish the whole process. Just don't leave it in between. All right, so that's the SharePoint integration piece. Let's talk about the new designer now, right? So pretty much like I've set that up here. I'm logged in as a administrator web role, which has permission to all the website access like things. So once you have that, you get all the editing options. All you have to do is click on new editor, and it's going to open up right here. Now this is a WYSIWYG editor because it actually, whatever changes I'm making, it's just going to show me here. And as of now, in whatever is going in private preview, you can only edit content snippets, so that's what I'm going to be showing. Like, how do I do that with content snippets? If you click here, it's going to show you all the components which are available to be placed in content snippets. So it will show you, hey, if I just want text, I can just put that text thing anywhere, an image or a table or an iframe. Also, you can put web templates. Like, you can actually, if you have a web template created, like small ones, like search, you want to place it on my form, you can just take that web template and just place it here. A search box will appear. So that's what we're going to do right now. Basically, we're going to do two things. One is our community portal needs a search box here, like right here, so people can just come search. And then my manager left me a note to change this to logo. He didn't want a text here. So he wanted an image to appear there. I'm going to do that. So let's come here first. I'll select this because this is where I want to place it. I'm going to find my search template. Just click here. It's going to do an autosave here. While autosave happens, this is the preview, and once autosave is done, it's going to start rendering my search box. So while it does autosave, I'm just going to go here and place image file as well. Okay, come here and select it. Click on image, image appears. You can change properties from here. I have a URL. Again, images are all referenced. We don't really store them in Dynamics directly, but if you already have stored images as web files, you can use those URLs. Gonna place a URL, it's gonna render the image. It's too big, right? So we should just squeeze it a bit. And I have this text here, I should just remove that. All right. Okay, you want to do fancy things with it? You can actually just open code editor at the bottom. It shows you all the source code. So you can go ahead and like modify properties directly from here as well. And once, actually, this is the same Monaco editor we use in the, like if you use Dynamics interface to modify it. So pretty much like all the same things shows up here as well. Like let's say I type search. Like it's all the same Monaco editor concept will be appear, like come here as well. Just not gonna modify it. And let's go up. There you go, that's your search box. Now this was super simple to do. Like you can do complex stuff as well. You can add a table. If you had like a breadcrumb created, you can just put that breadcrumb here and change the text, and it's gonna appear something like what you saw at the bottom. Like these kind of things are easily changeable as well. Previously, you had to figure out, okay, which content snippet was it, figure it out in Dynamics, go modify it, or use the front-side editing, which can do some things but not everything. So now this will be all very simple to do. And this is actually saving at the back. Like I'm not faking it. So if I just refresh my portal page, whatever shows up here is actually getting saved in Dynamics as well. So it's like a search box we added here and an image which we added here. They all appear automatically. So once this grows, into web pages and web templates, this will be the go-to tool. Like you will never have to go ahead modify entities in Dynamics in order to configure portal. That's the direction we are going towards. All right, with that, let's try to do our third feature, which is how do you set up IP address restrictions? Now, this is again pretty simple. All you have to do, go to Admin Center. This doesn't require a global admin, so anyone can do it. Go here, it's going to be a list of IP addresses you have set up. Blank means anyone can access it. I'm going to set up an IP address here, and I don't want to, like this is my portal. I don't want anyone to access it right now. So I'm just going to put like some random IP in it. It requires CIDR notification, like CIDR notation. So if you're doing ranges, you can just write it in CIDR format. It's going to automatically figure out the ranges as well. I click on configure. I already checked this is not IP with which we are online. So what I expect to see is once this is all done, my portal should just give a 403. It's super quick. If I go ahead and remove it, it's not going to take even a minute to refresh this. Remove it. It might take a minute to remove it, but not once it's removed, it will be super fast. Oops. Damn. Okay, so it, oh, there you go. That's Edge, that's browser. That's not portal. All right, so now this feature, again, you can have multiple IP addresses. Just remember that the moment you add first IP address, you did a deny all to everyone else. So if you want multiple addresses, they are all not in a range, but unique ones, keep on adding them one by one. Like don't leave it in the middle, else everyone else will be, oh, hey, my portal is starved. Do something about it. So just make sure you are careful on when you're using it. And half of the time, Microsoft support is going to say, it's, oh, your web app is starved. Why don't you turn it on? Because they can't access it. All right, so these are all the features we wanted to talk about, and I hope you like them. Or if you are participating in any of the private previews, do give feedback. Another important thing, Designer actually comes with a nice little button here for feedback. Just click here. There's an email address. Just send us feedback directly. Don't have to go through any other mechanism. So use that. That's a monitored thing. We don't reply back, but at least we monitor it for feedbacks. Just don't put any PII or GDPR data in it. Like, if you're in Europe, you will understand the pain. Just don't do that, please. All right, so I hope you liked it. And Power BI part is going to come out soon as well. Just play around features. If you have any suggestions, keep adding them in ideas. And by the way, like the features deliver here, their top 4 features and ideas are taken into account. Power BI Embed is one of the top features. SharePoint is the top feature. IP address restriction is another one of the top features. So all of them are coming from ideas side. So all of them are actually coming from your suggestions. So that's like we are listening from you there. If you have any other feedback, add it there, and it surely is going to make the list. Alrighty, so with that, let's talk about one customer. Like I just wanted to keep it very short, just talk about one customer story. So I can give you a glimpse of what scenarios exist, what you can do with Portal, how people are trying to use it to solve their business cases. So this is a portal run by Microsoft Facilities. It's run for everyone in Microsoft. As you know, we are little kids and we whine about, oh, hey, my office is too cold, or my office is too hot, and every time we bug Microsoft Facilities for it. And they were doing that with a phone call before. So what they decided was, we are going to make it self-service. Go to this portal, raise a ticket. It's going to use Dynamics at the backend. There's going to be whole case management suite, which routes the ticket to the right queue. It uses field service, so it uses work order so that a guy comes to your desk and say, hey, I'm done with my work order, and do whatever you asked for. And this portal gets almost 100,000 hits every day. And peak time, North America, 10 a.m. when everyone comes to an office, within that duration, it gets approximately 20,000 people constantly on it. That's what we see. It's super huge. It looks very pretty. Like, they actually did a very good job of it. It reflows super well on mobile. Those of you who have Microsoft Corp access, this is www.msfacilities.com. There are interesting things it do as well. It has a integration with our corporate directory, like the ADFS part of it. So they figure out your location automatically. That shows up. All your, if you have some like special request or you wanted ergonomic chairs, so you are marked in directory as such, all of those things automatically show up here as well. And all your tickets get routed based on that. The priority gets set up based on that. So it is an interesting internal help desk scenario for facilities. You can do the same with HR or IT. So that's something Microsoft IT is doing. Last time we talked about an immigration portal. This is F facilities. Next year when we'll come, we'll talk about HR portal. That's what they're working on now. So yeah, like there's a public case study for it. So you want to read more on what they're doing, what's going to be phase 2, that you can do as well. So that's pretty much like what I wanted to cover today. Talk about what is our strategy, what features we are doing, how business is performing, give you a glimpse of how you will do it, like how you'll use those features, and talk about a customer. Like talk about someone who is there in journey with you, who is also trying to innovate using Microsoft portals. So with that, we still have 7 minutes, so we can take questions. But if you're asking questions, just please use one of those mics so that it gets recorded as well. Yeah. Sorry, Steve.
Doesn't work.
Yeah.
There it goes. I did see the HR portal, by the way. It looks awesome. Really cool stuff going on there. On the starter portal, what are they thinking about as the licensing model for that?
So its licensing is not going to change right now. It's going to be same existing licensing, which will continue. We are thinking about changing licensing model for portal overall, which will be sometime next year. At that point of time, we're going to cover all the types there.
Right now, I think you get a portal with an enterprise license. But
yes. And if you don't have enterprise licenses, you can still buy an add-on. That will be applicable with CDS as well. Okay. So you take Power Apps P2 and buy an add-on. Any other?
Even though you didn't get a chance to demo the Power BI, that's my favorite actually. So my organization is going to really love that. I have a couple of questions on that. So when you embed the Power BI, does it require still an app token to view the report, or how that integration works?
So the way we are doing it, it's going to be all server-side. So it will not have any token in JavaScript which someone can sneak in and change it for another user. It's going to be like Power BI Embed is launching an app-to-app authentication. They are going in October. So that's what it's going to use for Power BI Embed. The one for Power BI for organization also uses a similar kind of pattern.
Got it. So can we have an internal user accessing the reports using Azure AD?
Yes.
Versus the external user, no need to have an app token to view the reports? External user meaning the customers, our partners.
Yeah, so the way it will happen is you'll have an option to use either Embed or Azure AD. If you're using Azure AD, then people will require Azure AD login to sign in, and they'll need a Power BI license as well, by the way. If you're using Power BI Embed, then that doesn't have licensing model for external customers. So all you buy is capacity, so that will be automatically there. So any login will work. You don't have to be Azure AD login in that case.
Sure. And we use the Power BI custom data option because our backend is the Azure Analysis Services.
Yep.
So do we still have an option to pass the custom data parameter?
Yes, you will be able to pass in filters in URL. You will be able to say, hey, I want to like filter by geography or location or something. Also, you will be able to pass in roles. So you can filter data by roles as well. Because if you have like custom data coming from different system and you have row level security, you will be able to set that up.
Great. One last question. In the SharePoint integration, once the document is uploaded into the portal on the case, when somebody viewing the case in CRM, can they see it under the document section?
Yes, the case is like the document will always get uploaded to the same document location which your record has in Dynamics. So if you go to Dynamics, you will see the same document there.
Thank you.
And it doesn't have to be case, it can be any entity. Like I just took an example of case, but it can be any custom entity as well. All right, hi.
On the page editor, are there any plans to allow you to upload a file or image directly from the side panel instead of needing to upload it somewhere else first and then pasting in the URL?
Yeah, that's one plan. It will be similar to how we do web files today on front-side editor, where you can upload file from disk, and it goes to either Azure Blob or Notes based on what you have set up. So same thing will come there as well.
Okay, and then are there any plans to release a licensed sandbox instance that's significantly less expensive than the other license?
Yeah, that's the second idea on the list, by the way. So yes, we are thinking about doing a cheaper version, which you can use as a dev test instance, and it doesn't cost $500.
Okay. Any idea when that will be ready?
Sorry?
Any idea when that will be released?
Not yet. It's a lot of licensing and business guys conversation, but yeah, it's in motion, so it won't be that long.
Okay, thanks.
All right, that's pretty much it. Oh man, everyone left for Universal. You guys are the one lagging behind. All right, thanks a lot, guys. We are on time.